discuss section 3.48 Cayley-Hamilton theorem. This is the last section of the third module. In this section, we discuss this theorem only. Statement is every square matrix satisfies its own characteristic equation. That means if the characteristic equation of an nth order square matrix is determinant of A minus lambda I equal to, by expanding we'll get this one, minus 1 raised to lambda raised to n plus k1 times lambda raised to n minus 1 plus etc. kn equal to 0. Then if you replace this A by the corresponding matrix A, lambda by corresponding matrix A, you can get this is the 0 matrix. This means if you choose a 2 by 2 matrix, say 1, 2, 0, 3, this is our 2 by 2 matrix. This theorem, I explained this theorem, the statement of theorem using this A. So we can easily find A minus lambda I from this matrix. A minus lambda I will be 1 minus lambda 2, 0, 3 minus lambda. By finding the determinant A minus lambda I, you can get 1 minus lambda into 3 minus lambda. So this is minus 1 raised to 2 lambda square, then 4 lambda plus 3. Okay, so this is minus, I think. This is minus 4 lambda. So the determinant is lambda square minus 4 lambda plus 3. This is our characteristic polynomial. So characteristic equation is lambda square minus 4 lambda plus 3 equal to 0 for this particular matrix, 2 by 2 matrix. So when you replace this lambda by the matrix A itself, while you're replacing this lambda by A, you should remember that this 3 is 3 into 1, so that 1 can be replaced by the identity matrix. So you'll get A square. The theorem states that A square minus 4A plus 3 identity matrix, 3 times identity matrix is the 0 matrix. This is a number and this is a matrix. So if you evaluate this expression by A square, from this you can write what is A square. A square will be A into A, that is 1, 2, 0, 3, 1, 2, 0, 3. So A square will be the matrix 1 into 1, 2 into 0, that is 1 here, 1 into 2, 2 into 3. So 6 plus 2, that is 8, and this will be 0. And the last time will be 0 into 2, 3 into 3, that is 9. Okay, so A square will be 1, 8, 0, 9. This is A square, and we have minus 4 times A, minus 4 times 1, 2, 0, 3, plus 3 times identity matrix, that is 1, 0, 0, 1. So this will give 1 minus 4 plus 3, so that is 0. So I'll write the whole term here, 1 minus 4 plus 3, that is the first term. The second term will be 8 minus 8, 0. 8 minus 8, that is 0, plus 0. Then we have the third term is 0, 0, 0. That is 0 here, 4 into 0 is 0, 3 into 0 is 0. The last term will be 9, minus 12, 9 minus 12. Then we have last term is plus 3. So you will get this is 0, 0, 0. This is what we stated here for the Cayley-Hamilton theorem. Every square matrix satisfies its own characteristic equation. Okay. On the exam point of view, you need not worry about the proof of this theorem, but I will explain what is the proof for this Cayley-Hamilton theorem. In the exam point of view, you must uh, study to verify this theorem. And after all, using this theorem, you can easily find A inverse in terms of uh, the powers of A. So that is the two important things you need to remember for the exam. So I'll explain the sketch of this proof. For the proof, we start with the adjoint of A minus lambda I. So let it be P, capital P. We denote the adjoint of A minus lambda I as P. Then we know that every element of A minus lambda is an element which is in the order of lambda. That is the first degree polynomial in lambda. So when you evaluate the adjoint, in order to get the adjoint, we need to get the cofactor. In order to get the cofactor, we need to get the minus. In order to get the minus, we need to delete the row and column, one row and the corresponding column. Then the determinant of the remaining matrix will be of order. It's a polynomial of order n minus 1. It's a polynomial in lambda of order n minus 1. So you can write this P as P naught lambda raised to n minus 1 plus P1 lambda raised to n minus 2 plus etc. That means when you consider this matrix as this matrix, say 1, 2, 0, 3. This is the matrix what we have discussed just now. And we consider adjoint of this matrix, adjoint of A minus lambda. So first you write A minus lambda here. A minus lambda is 1 minus lambda, 2, 0, 3 minus lambda. So adjoint of A minus lambda I. So that you can write it as, you can easily get the adjoint of a 2 by 2 matrix by interchanging the diagonal entries and reversing the sign of the off diagonal elements. So this is 0 and this is minus 2. So this is the adjoint of A minus lambda I. Now you can write this is our P. So this P can be written as when you consider this this matrix 3 minus lambda, you can write it as P is equal to this can be written as 3 minus 2 0 1 plus a matrix in lambda minus lambda 0 0 minus lambda. When you add these two matrices, you can get P, right? First term is 3 minus lambda and second term is, so every matrix can be decomposed into sum of two matrices or sum of three, sum of any number of matrices. So this will give this is a matrix. This, again you can write it as I call this the first matrix as P1 and plus the second matrix as lambda times. We can take lambda from this matrix out, then lambda times is minus 1 0 0 minus 1. So that matrix has P2. Okay, so you can write or P naught. Anyway, this is P naught in our notations. So any adjoint can be decomposed into this form, P1 plus lambda P naught. If A is of matrix 2 by 2, then you can write it as P1 plus lambda times P naught. These two P1 and P naught are matrices, not the numbers. So any matrix can be decomposed into this way when you consider the adjoint, when you consider that matrix as adjoint. Okay, now you have this is the idea given here. P can be written as P naught lambda raised to n minus 1, P1 lambda raised to n minus 2 plus etc. Pn minus 1. Now in order to get but we know that adjoint of A into A is always equal to determinant of A into I, that is equal to A times adjoint. When you use this idea here, you can write A minus lambda into its adjoint, A into adjoint of that matrix. equal to determinant of a minus lambda into I. So you can write it as from this you can write a minus lambda I into p. This p can be written as this form. This is equal to, this is a determinant a minus lambda into I. But we know that determinant of a minus lambda is our characteristic polynomial. That is nothing but this one. So you can equate these two, okay, into I here. So equate this, when we multiply the left side and right side and equate the coefficients of lambda raised to n minus 1, lambda raised to n minus 2, lambda raised to n, etc. Then you can get these equations. Okay. Now by comparing or by adding two sides, you can get, adding this equation you can get 0 is equal to this. Okay, so you can easily add all these LHS and RHS by pre-multiplying by these equations by a raised to n, a raised to n minus 1, etc. Then you can get this equation, this is equal to the zero matrix. So this is nothing but the Cayley-Hamilton theorem. This is the expression obtained by replacing lambda in the characteristic polynomial. So you can get, this is we can say that this A satisfies the characteristic polynomial as well. That is nothing but the Cayley-Hamilton theorem. One of the idea here is when you consider this matrix 1, 2, 0, 3 again, we can say that the characteristic equation that we have found before is that is lambda square minus 4 lambda plus 3. This was the characteristic equation. So when you consider this theorem, we can say that a square minus 4 a plus 3I is equal to 0. This is the Cayley-Hamilton theorem. From this, by multiplying a inverse on both sides, you can write it as a square into a inverse minus 4 into a inverse plus 3 into I times a inverse equal to 0 into a inverse. 0 into a inverse is always 0. So from this you can write a square into a inverse is a, minus 4 into a into a inverse is identity matrix, and this will be 3 times a inverse, that is equal to 0. This shows that what is a inverse? A inverse can be written as 1 by 3 times 4I minus a. You can transpose these two terms to the right. Then you will get 4I minus a. Then transpose 3 to the right. Then that will be 1 by 3, 1 by 3 times this. So you can easily find the a inverse as a sum of or linear combination of a and I. Okay. So when you consider a third degree or third order square matrix, you can write a inverse as a combination of a square, a and I. So this is one way we find the a inverse of a matrix. In order to we are not considering or we are not evaluating the adjoint, cofactor and all. We will consider only the characteristic equation and solve for a inverse. This is our last section, and we have so many illustrative problems in this exercise. So you need to go through all this, and I would suggest you need to try 1 or 2 problems daily. Then post any doubts are there, then I will take up the doubts, and I will schedule a Google meeting later. These are the illustrative examples. In this problem, they consider a 3 by 3 matrix, and they have written the characteristic equation. It's a polynomial in lambda of degree 3. Then by Cayley-Hamilton theorem, we can replace this characteristic equation by the corresponding matrix. In order to get the inverse, you need to multiply this equation with A inverse. First, what they are doing is verifying this equation by substituting for A. Then they will get 0 in the LHS and RHS. Then multiplying with A inverse, you will get an expression containing A inverse. Then we find A inverse by transposing all the other elements to the right. Then you can easily get A inverse in this manner. So these are the illustrative examples. In the second theorem, in the second example, they calculate the characteristic equation first. This is a 8 by 8 matrix. We know that in order to solve the A inverse by evaluating minus and cofactor, it is a very tedious process to evaluate the A inverse in that manner. So once you write the characteristic equation, you can easily find the easily find the 8 raised to 8, A raised to 8 by multiplying this equation with A raised to 5, etc. So these are so many illustrated examples. So this is up to the section 3.48. This is the last section of our syllabus. So I think we have completed third and fourth modules. So next days we will discuss some revisions and problem sessions. I'll post one or two problems daily. Then you try to solve those problems and upload it in the Moodle. Okay, thank you.